Chapter 5, The Vatican Moves. Vatican City, the Apostolic Palace, January 18th, 2025, evening. The frescoed ceiling of the chamber glowed with candlelight. Shadows from the marble columns stretched long across the marble floor as the bells of St. Peter's tolled the Angelus. Cardinal Benedetti closed the door with a soft click. He's in New Mexico. Cardinal Lucian raised his eyes. Santa Fe? Benedetti nodded. Landed this morning, met with the women. Lucian rose from the high-backed chair by the fire. His cassock rustled faintly as he crossed to the window and looked out across the darkened courtyard. The ones who visited last August, he said. The grave. The baker's tomb. Benedetti's voice was low, clipped. We still don't know exactly what he's found. Lucian turned back. But we know he found something that troubles him. Benedetti's jaw tightened. Something he kept off the inventory logs. Something too dangerous to be entrusted even to the archives. Lucian paced slowly, hands behind his back. So he takes it to two untrained civilians, heretics. Benedetti sneered. What do we do now? Lucian stopped pacing. We have to assume he gave them a copy. He wouldn't risk carrying the original that far, Benedetti agreed, but even a copy is dangerous, especially if they've begun translating and plan to publish it. Lucian's brow furrowed. What did our friend say about the handwriting he saw over the Pope's shoulder when he brought him tea? Benedetti unfolded a slip of paper from his inner pocket. He read aloud. Hand of a woman, possibly Philo herself. Language suggestive of first-century Greek, but with Latin overlays. References Nazarene lineages, temple codes, and something buried. Lucian exhaled slowly. If the Codex truly names the woman as Philo or Agrippina, and if it identifies the Nazarene high priest and the Magdalene as descendants of Hillel, it dismantles everything. Benedetti folded the paper back. Not just the theology, the church itself. Lucian turned sharply. Then we cannot allow it to be published. There was a long silence. At last, Benedetti said, We don't know where they're keeping it. Then find out, Lucian said. We have sympathizers in the American diocese. I'll speak to Bishop Romero in Albuquerque, quietly. Benedetti nodded. I'll reach out to Cardinal Mays in D.C. He has people who specialize in retrieval. Lucian's voice dropped to a whisper. We must act before Franciscus makes it public, before he dies. He won't announce it. You're sure? Lucian stared into the fire. No, but he fears the consequences. If he didn't, he would have gone through official channels. He's placing the burden on them. The women. Lucian nodded. Yes, we cannot let that happen. Whatever it takes. Chapter 6, Veiled in Riddle. Rome, Italy, Vespasian's Palace, 70 CE. A torchlit chamber stretched long and low, the scent of warm parchment and ink mingling with oil lamps and desert air that slipped through the shutters. The house of Hillel's greatest fear was upon them, crying for a miracle that would not come. The temple in Jerusalem had fallen, destroyed by the house of Shammai and the zealots who served them. Worse still, Paul's followers were spreading confusion through the provinces. His Jesus was not the son of Elohim, born in Bethlehem, but a repackaged Messiah from Nazareth, made to serve the violent theology of Yahweh. Even the faithful wavered. Many were ready to welcome a son of Yahweh, who could replace the need for mercy with sacrifice. Paul had persuaded them that Hillel's teaching, treat others as you wish to be treated, was a creed for the weak. Vicarious atonement, he argued, was the path of the brave. The house of Shammai had declared all those who revered the ancient family of Nana Sin to be heretics. Their god permitted no rival, not El, not Asherah, and certainly not the moon-born lineage that traced its wisdom through Sinai and the desert of Sin. Yet Hillel had embraced that lineage, quietly, proudly. He traced his ancestors back through the Elohim, to Nana Sin, and his daughter Inyana, to Ansar and Kesar, even go so far as to honor their names in the words Nassar and Caesar. To him, Sinai was sacred not because it birthed law, but because it remembered the mother. In Vespasian's palace high above the city, Gamaliel, Germanicus in Rome, and Philo, Agrippina in Rome, had summoned their inner circle to devise a plan, not just for survival, but for the preservation of memory. They called on their sons and allies: Tiberius Julius, known to the world as Pliny the Elder; Lucius the Niger, who would write enigmas under the name Plutarch; Joseph Barnabas, son of Paul, later known as Josephus; and Livy's son, Titus, Vespasian's heir. Relying on those who came before them, Strabo, Nicholas of Damascus, Virgil, and of course Ovid, whose work carried the stories of gods and goddesses who metamorphosed when danger was near, they convened to produce the most important histories ever written, placed in Trojan horses for survival. Shadows draped the courtyard of Vespasian's palace as the coals in the brazier burned low. The high summer heat still clung to the stone walls, but the air had shifted. A weight was upon them, not of the season, but of the times. Philo stood beside the open casement, its marble ledge warm beneath her hand, a white dove perched upon her hand. Below, the sound of sandals on paving stones echoed in a pattern she recognized. Lucius the Niger entered moments later, scrolls tucked under one arm. "Josephus is delayed," he said. "No matter," she turned, her voice quiet but steady. "We cannot delay." Gamaliel entered next, taller than both, his expression weathered by the burden they all carried. "We must begin. Too much is already lost." The brazier at the center of the room flickered, more smoke than flame. Rosin-scented tendrils curled into the vaults above as the trio gathered. "This," said Gamaliel, setting a fresh codex onto the table, "will not be mere history. It will be memory, hidden in enigma, preserved for those who come after." Lucius unrolled one of his scrolls. "We begin with the death of Caesar." "Assassination," Philo corrected, "but not exactly as Nicholas told it. Plutarch will rewrite it, but not alone." "Plutarch," Gamaliel echoed with a half smile. "From Pluto, keeper of secrets. A fitting name." "We will give him that voice," said Philo, "just as we give you yours, Lucius. You'll write of the Nazarene." Lucius laughed, the weight momentarily lifting. "And I'll dedicate it to Philo, the genius who teaches the Pythagorean way." Philo's eyes gleamed. "Do. Give her that honor. The world has already forgotten her." Gamaliel laid down a second scroll. "The story of Antony and Cleopatra's suicide. It must become enigma. Plutarch will rewrite Nicholas, turn Tyche into Dynamis, and Dynamis into the mother of the son who would become Emperor Tiberius." Lucius nodded slowly. "Dynamis, the same power that stood beside Caesar in his final breath, the same force that will descend on the Virgin in Nazareth." "And Josephus," said Philo, "will tell of the temple, the wars, the fall, but only half the story. The rest will wait until the time is right." Shadows deepened as the three bent their heads to their work. Parchment rustled, ink was ground, and history, veiled in riddle, began to take shape. A narrow passage led to the adjoining study where a cedar table had been cleared for Josephus. He arrived with a flask of wine and a weary smile. "The city darkens," he said. "Tension rides the air and whispers of revolt drift through the streets." He took a deep breath. "But the scribes are ready. We may still have time." Lucius rose to greet him. "You're just in time. We've begun the layering. Gamaliel is assigning midrash for the suicide. I've opened with the scene on the Ides." "Caesar must live long enough for the child to be conceived," said Gamaliel. "You understand?" Josephus poured the wine, eyes thoughtful. "The assassination must appear to happen, but the daughter must still be his. That's why Nicholas described Tyche. Plutarch will replace her with Dynamis, mother of Tiberius, who will become Scribonia to give birth to Julius's daughter." "Exactly," Philo said. "Dynamis isn't just the divine spark. She's the thread that ties Cleopatra to Jesus, Julius to the child in Bethlehem." Lucius added, "The star above the child? It's no celestial object. It's a marker for those who can read it. It identifies him as a son of Venus, as Julius was." Josephus smirked. "A midrash, then. You make me envious. I'm trapped with facts and timelines." Facts can be shaped, said Gamaliel. We are the guardians of memory, not the victims of it. Philo's gaze drifted to the brazier. But memory must be veiled. Our truths, if spoken plainly, would be burned as heresy. Better to whisper them through riddles. Josephus nodded. So be it. I'll revise the wars. Keep the truths in shadow. The temple's fall will speak for itself. Lucius grinned. And the gospel will speak in parallel. They'll think they're reading about a birth, but it's a rebirth of the goddess, of justice, of memory. Gamaliel uncorked a wax-sealed scroll. Then let's begin again, with pen and symbol, with names that carry more than they seem. Philo set the dove to flight and took a reed pen. And let's hope our daughters one day will read between the lines.